Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Erika Robinson and I for Charts and Cards in Black and White. And we have decided this is going to be the last in this series. We're both very busy, and there's various other reasons, and I'll probably talk about it a bit more later. But this time, because we're getting so close to the election now, we thought, ignoring the polls, apart from the fact I listened to Christopher Boozy, who created Spoutable, we thought we'd just look at the swing states and kind of look at the energy of the day of the election with each candidate's chart and then pull cards. So the swing states that I see listed, and tell me if I'm missing anybody, are Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I think that's it, isn't it? Oh, and Florida, we wanted to look
Florida.
at too. That was it, Florida, because I think Florida's going to go blue. And for several reasons, because they have the abortion issue on the ballot. They also have recreational marijuana on the ballot, and there's several other reasons too. So, okay, so
what should we look at first?
well, let me just look at Kamala Harris's chart with so we're going to look at election day, November the 5th, and then you and I will go through and pull cards. So I'm going to say 10 p.m.-ish. It's really only the moon will change. And yes, we probably will not know the results. We could ask that as well later. Will we know the results on the day? But this is Kamala Harris's chart. Just a couple of things I do kind of want to point out. That the North Node by transit is moving back into her 10th house of career. Saturn is about to station direct in the 10th house of her public presence career as well. Nessus is going to station direct. I've already looked at it and found that her progressed Saturn is in Pisces. This is a rectified chart, by the way, but that again, that doesn't change much. But also Pluto is moving back into Aquarius and moving towards the top of her chart. The Jupiter is retrograde on her ascendant, and that kind of means a lot of people are, to my mind, are rethinking who they vote for, if that makes sense. So and there's a few other little bits I think as well. So I'll stop the share and we'll just first, well, I'll let you pull the cards as you want to. And while you talk, I will pull the cards. So I'm
So,
probably just going to pull one for each state.
so I just pulled, since you pulled her chart, I just pulled 5 cards for her on
Mm,
election day. And I have the first card is the bouquet,
mhm,
second card is mice, third card is scales. That's the extra card that I've put in the deck. The garden and child. So short answer, uh, this is a gift to her, a reward, an award, and one is awarded the presidency, right? Um,
mm,
Now, the mice, the thing about the mice is that they tend to eat away at the card before. So if
mm,
they're eating away at this card, it's telling me that I do not think we will have the winner announced on the day or
mm,
even on the next day. Uh, we have in the center, and I'm always interested when I pull blind and let spirit decide what's going to be in the center. The scales card. I do think that this will come
ooh,
down to the Supreme Court. I think so.
mm,
Um, this is the electorate, the people, but the final card is the child card, and this is someone new coming into office, not somebody old and played out who wears a diaper and plays golf, but someone that we've never had before, the Black South Asian Harris. So I
Yeah,
think she will win, but I think that we will not know right away.
yeah, yeah. And if we pull on each state, my initial pull, and I'll let you pull the cards first on that, and then I'll show you mine, is that Georgia could be the real sticking point, the one that goes to.
I think there's a lot of bad stuff, and I've talked about this on
Hmm.
my channel as well, going on in Georgia.
Hmm.
Of, nullification of votes and refusal to certify, and there's all kinds of things going on in Georgia. But I will let me
Mm.
because I like it because I only have it's a system of 36 cards. So I don't want any of the cards to not be in play. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have, so I'm gonna pull 3 cards and let's just see Georgia, what happens with Georgia.
Mm.
Interesting. So I need to pull some clarifiers.
Mm.
Okay, interesting. So we have, I pulled 3 to start with. This is Harris. This is 45. But the
Mm.
final card was the scythe, which
Ooh.
didn't tell me much because this is a card about a decision. So I said, well, okay,
Mm.
let me pull on the decision then. So the clarifiers that I got are garden, bouquet, and heart. I mean,
Mm.
sun. I always want to call
Son,
it.
son. Yeah.
Now, of course, that means somebody wins, somebody loses. And so
Hmm.
I feel like I need to pull uh, on the 2 of them. And this is really difficult. This is Georgia we're talking
Mm.
about.
Yeah.
Here's Kamala Harris's card, right? I pulled the stork and I pulled Clover and the stork. These are great cards. Yeah, this is happy, a win, that's great. Stork, positive change. However, I pulled 2 cards for him. So
Mm.
here's 45, and I got the the ring and I got scales. These are also not bad cards, which is telling
Yeah.
me that Georgia could easily be one of the states that the Supreme Court has to
Mm.
look at. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I get a similar kind of feeling for Georgia myself, and I was pulling some clarifiers as we did it. So first of all, I pulled the Emperor, which, is not a bad card in itself, but it's very kind of masculine, it's very fiery, it's very, leads. So I was kind of thinking maybe it looks like he's won at first, but then there's some strife over it. I got strife and some infighting because, the Harris team have hired that election lawyer, haven't they, um, to really kind of fight for the wins in all the states. And it kind of wonders, if it might be the Dems kind of challenge what seems at first, because it for a change. you know.
Could be, it could
or,
be.
or he
There will
announces
be
he's won at
some
least
definite monkey business going on down.
and he's going to announce he's won no matter what.
Well, of course.
So maybe that's just that, but there's definite strife around it. And then I got the hermit kind of reversed. So it's kind of, it's going to take time. They're going to have to do a lot of analysis and diving in and seeing what wins. And then I got the chariot, so no forward movement for a while. But then I actually got Queen of Discs at the end,
Hmm.
which I think is very
It's good for
Harris.
her. Hmm.
I wonder if maybe it's that road justice again. We'll see. Maybe let's ask a question of if Georgia goes to the Supreme Court
I think
to
it's very,
decide.
I think that yes, I mean, I think that's what my cards were saying, that it will.
Yeah, but if it does, who will they decide for?
Well, I'm just gonna say Harris
Mhm.
will be the next president.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that I haven't seen anything other than that.
No, I think I
All of,
haven't either. I think she will. Yeah. And I don't, in a way, I don't know if it matters if which way it
well,
goes in
I don't
Georgia.
know. Yeah, I don't
So,
know how granular it will be at the court. Like,
mm,
will they have, will it be all of these little decisions on the various states in question? Or will it be sort of a wholesale, did this one win or did this one win? I don't know.
mm,
I do think that
mm,
Georgia is going to be one of those states that will be in contention, that we will not know the winner um, by the end of the evening,
mm,
the next day. And it could, I'm
yeah.
with you that it could very well be the Democrats who appeal um, the win, if there's a win.
Hmm.
Well, he's
Yeah,
gonna
if
claim,
there's a
so like
win.
you said, he's gonna claim to win anyway. But I think the
Yes.
challenge would be coming from the Democratic side.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But we at the end, everybody, we are going to kind of, just ask one ultimate question. So hang around for that one because it's fun to go through these swing states. But the polls are changing as well. And I'd like to kind of see if any are decisive, but I think we're here saying that Georgia is not going to be decisive,
No, that's,
No, no, no. So
so
let's
what's
switch,
the next?
switch Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. I got this. And to my mind, that's her kind of the new start, fired up, winning.
She wins Arizona. Heart,
Mhm.
child,
Yeah,
key.
yeah. And I think it's almost going to be like unchallengeable. It
Mhm.
was it was such a definite kind of thing for me. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah, so that's 11 electoral votes there. So we've done Georgia. We have to do Florida first of all. Oh, I got a nice shuffle out.
Florida, yeah. Well, let's see, Florida.
Yeah, of course we've got all the stuff going on from the damage from the
Yeah, I did
last
a deep
hurricane and
dive on this
coming.
question of Florida on my
Mm,
channel, but um, so yeah, so I have the fox, the clouds, and then the moon.
mm,
So,
mm,
you've got this shady character on one side, a resident of Florida here,
mhm,
casting all kinds of doubt on the current administration and on any future Harris administration. But,
mhm.
again, he's the ultimate con man.
Oh yeah.
Fox is tricky. And the thing is that people are going to say, who are we going to believe? Him or
Hmm.
the evidence of our own eyes?
Yeah.
And so I think Florida will go to Harris.
Yeah. I got four. So start of a new journey, that's kind of possibilities. And then the star card, which is a beautifully positive card. So I'm convinced it's going to go to Harris, Florida. So there she gets another, I can't remember how many electoral votes that is, but Georgia we've looked at, Michigan,
Michigan, yeah.
yeah.
Well, interesting. I got the house, the scales, the
Mm,
garden. It makes me think that could end up being another state that is in contention
mm,
in the end.
mm. Okay,
Yeah.
could be. I'm gonna pull a clarifier because I got first of all got this is the sun in Aries and the Three of Wands that I took as a very positive sign for Harris. But let me pull a clarifier. Okay, so this is the Mercury in Aquarius. This is weighing up the options, I think, and
Mhm.
having to pull all the pieces together. So I kind of think, yeah, it could be, but I think ultimately I think she's going to win, even with the state of our Supremes. That's the outcome I've just pulled. Ace of discs. So that's a kind of a nice card as well for Harris. And yes, full disclosure, we do not want the certain resident of Florida to win. Now then, Nevada. Nevada's always been a weird state to my mind.
So let's see, Nevada, that's what they like you to call it, Nevada. They get mad if you say
Oh,
Nevada. But you can get away with it because you got an accent.
I was going to say it's my accent. Yeah.
So,
I just, my mouth will not say Nevada.
okay, so we have the younger man, we have the fish, and we have the cross. I don't think Nevada will go for her.
No, I'll tell you why I don't too. And I know it's death and rebirth, but I just feel like no, it's just not. But that's 6 electoral college votes, and if she won the others, she should be okay. But here's a biggie, especially after what's been happening with the Hurricane Helene. So North Carolina.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't like my first card, so I'm gonna show it clearly, but I'm gonna pull some clarifiers. But I'll let you.
I think she might win North Carolina. Here she is.
Mhm.
I like this young, new Yang energy. And then North Carolina sending a message. So
Yeah.
I think she could win North Carolina.
And I pulled some clarifiers, and this explains my first card, but it is reversed as well. So actually got the 9 of Swords, which is Mars in Gemini, which is the cruelty card in this deck, which is very, cruel words and things. However, it's reversed. And the thing I love about Swords reversed for the most part is I feel like she's gonna, like, there's all these like you said before, these theories about the Democrats having geoengineered everything for the state, and they're spreading all these lies and misinformation about FEMA not being in and aid not being provided. I think this reversed is going to deflect it back and go, because even the Republican governor is saying, don't be silly, this is, but then
Forget it. He asked for, yeah.
my clarifiers are the Page of Swords, which is always like forward movement, cutting through that crap, and then Beastess. Yes.
Okay.
So, phew. And then Pennsylvania.
So
I'm just gonna share my one card and go, she's gonna win Pennsylvania.
let's see.
And we have one more after that.
So I have the tree, the coffin, and the fish. I'm
Mm,
gonna pull a clarifier on the coffin.
mm,
Uh, so the reason I pull a clarifier on the coffin is that sometimes coffins are endings, but
mm,
sometimes the coffin is transformation. So then the
mm,
first clarifier I pulled was him, 45,
mm,
and the sun. But I pulled 3 clarifiers, and the last one is the crossroads. And so to
mm,
me, this is his victory, but it gets sidetracked. So I think she could win Pennsylvania as well. But it could be one of
mm,
those contested states, because I think it could be very
mm,
close. Yeah.
mm. Well, we'll see. Wisconsin, one
See,
last one. So
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin,
I know very little. I know they're,
yeah, well,
that's,
it was once considered reliably blue until Trump eked out a victory in 2016. Biden flipped it back in 2020, but very narrowly. So that kind of tells you, and it's one of the Rust Belt states. So it's all about, the manufacturing and things
right.
like that.
Okay. Uh, interesting. Hold on, I gotta see him. I need to draw a clarifier on one of these cards.
Mm.
Clarifier or three. Okay. So I got the snake and I got the cross, and then I got crossroads.
Oh, crosses, crosses, crosses.
So one, two, three.
Mhm.
Um, and then I pulled clarifiers on the crossroads. So now here's the thing. The snake would make Wisconsin problematic, but
Mhm.
the cross is about endings. So it's making me think that this problem for us, our side, ends because Wisconsin goes away different from 45. And that, I mean,
Mm.
yeah, and then I pulled clarifiers on the crossroads, like what is the nature of this shift?
Mm.
Dog, son, bouquet. So I think she'll win Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think she'd probably win it comfortably. They've brought so much manufacturing back to those areas.
Mhm.
And she's been on the ground campaigning. So the cards I pulled for Wisconsin, Prince of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, and her card, Queen of Discs. So,
Good.
yeah. So we thought we'd ask as our last question for now. I'm sure Erica, we're still friends, of course, so we're probably going to go on each other's channels now and again. But
Absolutely.
so yeah, so will uh, the Democrats, will Harris win a majority in the Senate? Not a tie, will it? Will she win a majority?
I I think it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yes.
It
Uh,
could do.
I
Yeah.
pulled a yes, no, I mean, yes, no spread. So this won't mean anything if you don't read Lenormand, but I got the younger man
Mhm.
in the house of the moon. I
Mhm.
got the dog in the house of the older man. And I got the
Mhm.
mice in the house of the birds. I just think that I think this is going to, as ugly as it's been, and as long and
Mhm.
drawn out as it's been, we have a ways to go. The road is not
Yeah.
end on November 5th.
On November the
And
5th. And the
that
thing is,
said,
it
that
could,
said, I believe she will win. I continue to believe that. I've
yeah.
seen that she wouldn't.
And for the Senate, I think, it only would need one state to have to go to the Supreme Court. And we've already,
Mhm.
pretty much agreed with one of them, at least
Right,
Georgia. So,
right.
but I still think ultimately um, that she's going to win.
Mhm.
So, Valor, Mars in Leo card, which is interesting because right after the election, Mars is Mars is in Leo on the election day and on pretty much on the North Node of the USA. So kind of a new leader, it feels like. Then I pulled Ace of Swords, which is just fantastic, especially because she's Gemini rising. I know he's Gemini too, but and then I got the Jupiter in Capricorn, um, the snake, the balance change, bringing interestingly, it's like an eight, this card, and we're in an 8 year and change. So, we're having a change of leadership for sure, but I just really feel like I think even if it goes to the Supreme Court, I think they may almost be unable to,
Right. I agree.
yeah,
Mhm.
only rule on partisan lines. Yeah. Hmm. Although I'm sure some of them will, one or two of them, shall we say?
Yeah.
But overall, I think it will come down in her favor. And I actually don't think it's going to be 50-50. And how the Vice President Walls having the deciding vote. I think it's, she's going to have that 51 seats. That is the majority. So hope I'm right. So, well, Erica, love doing this with you. Leave me all your
Cute.
comments, everybody, and I'll probably show up on Erica's channel every now and again as well. So that's In the Company of Cards. Her channel is just fabulous, and I'm still trying to work my way through starting to learn the Lenormand. I've got the lovely deck here, but haven't the eclipse season been mental? Well, it
It
has for
has.
me. Oh my
It
God.
has.
With dental surgery, a friend visiting for 16 days and this, that, and the other. Anyway, we're
Been a
out
lot.
of that. We're not out of the chaos yet,
No,
though.
we're not out of the
So
gates yet. So hang in
yeah,
there, everybody.
yeah. So thank you everybody for watching, listening, supporting. As always, please go and subscribe to Erica's channel as well if you haven't already. She proudly pulls the cards all the time for all the toughest questions out there. So if it's not your bag,
Don't
don't
come.
go. Don't go and subscribe.
There you go. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.